Welcome to the Hustle Wing podcast. Today we are joined by Bill Roth, the president and CEO of Rothiams. Today we're going to chat to him a little bit and get to know him and get to know the company as well. So thank you so much for joining us, Bill Roth. Thank you for your time. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thanks, Izzy. And thanks for having me on the podcast. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. Awesome. So talk to me. What is Rothiams?
So we're a facility and infrastructure asset management consultant. So we work with primarily public sector organizations, some private sector, to help them basically gather consistent and defensible data through which they can then tell their asset management story to their various stakeholders and audiences.
Okay, cool. So you gather their data for them so that they can present it to their stakeholders.
Yeah, we'll help them figure out what data they need to answer the questions that they're trying to answer, help them get that data, and then once they have that data, help them figure out what to do with it as it relates to their facilities and infrastructure.
Cool. And is it like consulting based or is it a software?
So the Rothiams is a consulting firm. I also have another company that I co-founded that provides software that can support our customers in gathering and using the data.
Okay, cool. All right. So you've covered it all.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So why did you start Rothiams, Bill?
I used to work for a big engineering company that did almost everything out there, right? 10,000 people, all the rest of it. And what we did, my team, which is sort of basically the same team that we have here at Rothiams, was a pretty kind of small, kind of niche corner part of the business. And so I really felt that that the market needed what we were offering, and it was easier to build that because there wasn't anything like it in the market. So rather than try to build it inside a large publicly traded company that has different goals and criteria, I just felt it was going to be easier for me to do that outside in a bit more of an entrepreneurial environment.
Yeah. Okay. So you have like a consulting background.
Yeah, I've been doing consulting since 1995, so been around for a while.
Definitely. Okay, cool. So what is your vision for Rothiams? What's the end goal?
So, I mean, for our corporate vision is to solve the world's deferred capital renewal and maintenance backlog crisis, which probably doesn't mean much to people outside of our business. But when we're talking to the folks that are our customers and our prospective customers, that actually does mean a lot. And so we're really, I guess the long and the short of it is that for decades, governments and institutions have been underfunding their existing facilities and infrastructure. And so there's a backlog of need to fix those buildings and keep them safe and up and running and useful. And so that's everything that we do is about helping our customers understand what those issues are, help them try to make business cases to get more funding so that they can bring down that backlog and therefore make the built environment, whether that's a school or a hospital or an office building, just make it better for the people that are occupying, living, working, learning in those buildings.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, anytime you hear backlog, you always hear, sirens. So it's good that you're working on
yes, exactly.
Cool. So
Absolutely.
So what are some of the challenges or projects that you guys are currently facing at Rothiams?
Well, I think that so in terms of projects, we do a lot of work for educational institutions, and so a lot of the issues, as I said before, right, is we're dealing with decades of underfunding, and so we're coming in and having to try to solve problems decades in the making in a much shorter time frame, right? Whether that's an election cycle or whether that's the cycle of a board of trustees. Participation or anything like that. So it's trying to help people understand that sometimes in the next 5 to 10 years, no matter what we do, we're not going to make things better. They're just going to be less worse than if we did nothing or we carried on as we were. And so unfortunately, trying to sell less worse sometimes is not as easy a sell as if you could say, hey, let's make it better. It is better because it's better than it would have been, but it's still not better maybe than you are today, right?
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Takes a while to turn the ship.
yeah, that's interesting. I've never really thought about that, but I guess your wording is kind of perfect because it is less worse, but it doesn't
Yeah.
sound marketable. So I
Well,
guess you
no,
need.
and and that's why I say that's why it's particularly when you're dealing with folks that don't understand facilities, right? If you're dealing with
Yeah,
educators in higher ed or K to 12, or you're dealing with healthcare professionals in the healthcare, because most of the executives come
yeah,
from inside the business, and
mm,
so but you know the problem is you don't want to set unrealistic expectations
yeah,
and then fail to meet them. You're better to set the proper expectations. But unfortunately, as you say, sometimes less worse is not. It's not as it doesn't sound as good as better, right?
yeah. Kind of harder to
And
buy
and
into.
exactly. And then inside the business, I mean, you know, finding good quality people is, I think, a challenge that everybody faces, right? And so because we are a little bit of a niche business, we hire a lot of architects and engineers and facility managers and other things like that, but they don't typically go to school to do what we do. Most of them go to school to go into design or go into construction, and so we're kind of like this third alternative, if you will.
Yeah,
But it's I've never met anybody yet that says, hey, when I grow up, I you know when they were 10 years old, they don't say, hey, when I grow up, I want to get involved in facility asset management. It's
yeah,
just I want to do construction, I want to do design.
yeah,
So we have to kind of sell what we do as much as we sell the company.
yeah. That's interesting. That's an interesting challenge, actually. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I've never heard of it before, but I understand the need for it now that you've said it. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
especially
it is very niche. It's very niche for sure.
yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So, great. So, what are some of the what sort of assistance would you need from the hustlers in our community?
So for us, I mean, we're about 100 people now, so we're not like a really small company, but we're not a really big company either. And
Yeah,
so, we do look for a lot of things on the not so much on the actual practice side of our business, because for that it's architects, engineers, and we have full-time staff for that. But
yeah,
often on the corporate side of things, whether that be on the marketing side or finance side, or things like special projects and little things where we have something that needs doing, but we either don't have the capability inside the company, we don't have the
yeah,
capacity because other folks are really busy,
yeah,
there's a short term need or a project that our internal staff don't have time to gather. So
yeah.
that's sort of the main areas where we are typically looking for that outside help.
Okay, so it's kind of within the business to assist you guys move
Yeah,
forward, put forward.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, great. So specifically, you did mention marketers. Do you have like a strategic plan, or were you looking for somebody to come through and give you what their best advice would be?
Yeah, so we have a marketing plan. We have a vice president of marketing and who has developed a marketing plan with our team.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes there's like I say, special projects or needs, whether that be
Yeah.
design or graphic design or something like that, where we don't have the in-house expertise to do it, where we would bring
Yeah.
in somebody. We've worked with web designers as well. Just we have a vision, we have the content, we just don't
Yeah.
have the ability to uh, translate that into the code or into the website.
Yeah. Okay, great. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Bill. It's been a pleasure
No
chatting to
problem.
you and getting to know Rothiams and, this whole new sector that I've never heard of before. So I will definitely keep an eye out for you and
Excellent.
it will connect you with the right people.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity, Izzy, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks. Bye bye.